Well, hello there. Hello there to all you wisdom walkers out there. This is Jojo Maria and Saroma. And I am, for the first time after a couple of years, attempting to broadcast and live stream at the same time. So it's going to be interesting. And if you have any comments, um, I will get to them once I've completely finished my spill before I sign off. If you don't put a comment in within the first 3 minutes on the radio broadcast right now, my theme song, which is Nicolela by Stevie Wonder, is playing. And I don't have rights to it yet. And I don't know if YouTube will let me play it. I got to find out because I just love that song and I would love to share it with you. So this is kind of like my pre-show before I do the actual broadcast while I'm waiting for the intro to play. But I just want to say that I am so grateful that my transition is going well. I left the dwelling that I was in for 5 years, two of them by myself after Miss Sarah died. And those of you who've been following me know about Miss Sarah. And I'm so happy to report that my transition has gone really well. I'm in this incredibly beautiful home, hosted by two wonderful people, Yumi and Bill. And they've got great Wi-Fi, so I'm hoping that Mercury retrograde won't interfere and allow this connection to stay strong all the way through. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm just really grateful to be here, excited for what I'm going to be spilling on tonight, sharing with you. Grateful to finally be doing my annual New Year's message. Um, and yeah, I feel very grateful, and again, just very, very good. It's a good thing. So the music is almost over, and I will, as I always do, open up the show with honoring the ancestors. Tomorrow is the federal holiday of Martin Luther King Day, and he's a huge ancestor for all of us. So I'm invoking him as well, and just giving us that time that we need to pause and make sure that we remember that we're not doing this alone, that we need all the help we can get. Yeah. So the music is ended. Here we go. Good evening and welcome to Wisdom Walk Talk here on Black Hole Radio and my YouTube channel, Wisdom Walk 2 Self Mastery. I am your host and guide, Jojo Maria and Saroma. And as always, I'm going to open us up with the invocation to the ancestors. So without further ado, Creator, Mother, Father, God, Source, all the one, all that is. We thank you. We thank you. We thank you for your blessing and your mercy in our lives and for this opportunity to call out to the ancestors. Ancestors, 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 hear our prayers. We call out to you during this opening to 2023 and ask you to guide us gently through this transition from the double fire year into a nature year. Enable us to express our grief unapologetically and to receive all of the compassion, support, and encouragement that we need to keep moving forward. Continue to enable us to stop being in resistance to this new age and new earth consciousness and guide us gently and lovingly into our personal and collective renaissance. As we dare to live our new narratives, enable us to remember that these are divinely scripted for ourselves and for our world. And most importantly, continue to enable us to move forth from the dark ages of modernity by placing our heads below our hearts, valuing people over profits, and always choosing love over fear. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Amen. Ashe. Aho. Asa. Shinga Bismillah. So it is. Woo! Yes, 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 folks. Here we are. Again, Happy New Year to all you wisdom walkers, want to be wisdom walkers, going to be wisdom walkers out there. You know, January is the first water month of this nature year, 2023, according to the ancient wisdom of the Dagara Medicine Wheel. And 2023 will reveal the results and manifestations of all the radical shifts and unexpected gifts that we have been moving through, since 2020 into 2022. Absolutely. All of us on this planet experienced a major shift in our lives during 2022, thanks especially to COVID. And the years that followed have been living out that shift and learning that there's no going back to what came before. So now in 2023, it's time for treasure in the trouble to show up in magical ways. And so for over the next 3 weeks of January, I'll be providing 2 live broadcasts, one repeat next week, of this indigenous wisdom and spiritual insights for navigating this important year on our journey to fulfillment and our happy endings. Yes. Now, for those of you who are listening in over the radio, if you have a problem with your internet connection, or for those of you just tired of looking at a video screen, you can listen into the live broadcast at this number. It's area code 563-999-3089. I also want to just mention that if you have any questions, comments, cheerleading, you can share that on my Facebook page, which is Wisdom Walk Radio, my Facebook group, which is Wisdom Walk Community, my website, which is www.wisdomwalktoselfmastery.com, or of course in the comment section below the YouTube. But right now, I invite you to sit, lay back, and join me for an exploration to the inner landscape where we can connect to our soul and discover the true treasure of being human. Now, something else that I am shifting up for this year in terms of my broadcast and my YouTube, my podcast, is that I've separated out my elemental wisdom that I used to do weekly. I'm now creating a video, a YouTube for the entire month. And I'll put timestamps in it so that you can check the week before or check the week coming up. So separating that out. The other thing I've separated out is the astrology for self-mastery reports. And I try to do that at least twice a month, unless there's so many things going on that it needs to be done a little sooner. So what that does, it just frees me up for this time of wisdom, focus on the spill I have this. So without further ado, I'm going to do that, except I have one greeting that I want to show, which is from We Marriage Media and Michael Damon. Thank you, Michael. Greetings from Arizona. Thank you for listening in, watching in, all that good stuff. So let's go over here and see what I got. What do I have? Oh, yes, I have for you my overview. So here's what I'm going to go through tonight. I'm going to give you what this nature element is, especially for people who may not be as familiar with the Dagara Medicine Wheel as some of you who have wisdom walked with me are. I'm also going to talk about what being a nature person in a nature year is about, what you have to look forward to, or what are the tasks that are being called for you. Because when it is your year, yeah, like last year was my year, it's a double fire year, and it was about being stretched and grown. Yeah, so I'll give you some information on that. And then also, I want to share the Chinese zodiac, the Chinese astrology for this year, which is going to be a rabbit year, and it's a black water rabbit year, and what that means. And then, as always, I will give you a personal growth opportunity to take on. So let's jump right into the Dagara Medicine, starting off with a quote from my teacher, Malidoma. And in his book that I highly recommend, The Healing Wisdom of Africa, Malidoma says this about the nature element. The element of nature signifies the principle of change. It is transformation, mutation, adjustment, flexibility, cyclicality, life, death, and magic. It is my sense that if incorporating any of these five elements poses a challenge to modernity, then the challenge posed by nature is the most difficult of all. Thank you, Malidoma. And just a validation with that, I have a client who was going through the medicine wheel using my book and just checking in with me to see how things are going. And he said that when he got to nature, like the other ones, he said, yeah, no, that was good. It was kind of like almost breezed through him. But when he got to nature, oh my God, yeah, it was like, uh, 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 uh. And, that's the thing about the nature element. It really is really about this energy of change that we don't have control over. And I think that's what really angers us as humans. All this anti-aging stuff that's going on. Like, really? Like, you think you're going to turn back the hands of time? I don't think so. Uh, Ultimately, you are going to die. So, it's this resistance to the natural cycle of change, of birth and life and death, that it's really a big challenge for us. So knowing that challenge really helps, because then we can move through it a little easier. But here is some information for you now about what the nature element is, and I'll give you that. So the nature element, as you see in this little collage here, in the Dagara cosmology, nature is the cosmic creative expression of the four foundational elements: fire, water, earth, and mineral, because nature shows up as plants, animals, and humans. Nature is evidence of the evolutionary impulse of our universe and is cosmically designed to make us remember that we are real. And in the Western culture domains, we are in so need of and hungry for that. The essential truth about being real is that you will change. You will be stretched and grown, just as you will be born and you will die, with or without your consent. And as I said, right, that's a big challenge for us. It's like, you mean I don't get to have a say in that? Like, no, sorry, that's not how it rolls. Yeah. And so it goes on to say the seasonal changes in weather and landscape serve as evidence of our natural life changes. Isn't that beautiful? It really is. A nature year brings opportunities and challenges for peeling off the mask of our false selves and belief systems, while ushering in a rebirthing of the truth of who we are, despite our fears of the real. And that's kind of like that Renaissance energy piece I've been talking about for about a year and a half. Like, that's why COVID has shown up. We've got to move into something new and something more. Now, another important aspect of nature is that it also is about grief. Yeah. Yeah. The nature element provides the canopy for expressing grief. When grief is held back and held in, it becomes a destructive energy. When grief is acknowledged and expressed, then a regenerative, life giving energy can flow within us and out to the world. Our culture has been designed to avoid grief, but 2023 may be the time for us to consciously and collectively embrace emotionally intelligent ways to express our stuck grief. And we really need this. We really need this. There's been so many people who have lost their lives or lost home or lost jobs, COVID, climate change, and just the senseless violence, right, that has been happening. I think about what happened in Korea at Halloween, where all those kids got crushed to death. I mean, and some more horror stories that I've heard about, or just things where, people through illness are dying unexpectedly. Um, there's a lot to be grieved. And again, when we don't consciously take that on, we create problems both for ourselves internally, but also externally. So again, I really believe that this nature year can bring us some good opportunities and some to learn. Really, it's about learning that we can allow ourselves to experience our grief, to release it safely and in a supportive way, that can really, really happen. Yeah. So now I want to move on to talk about nature and the nature person in a nature year. And as it says here, born in years ending with 3 or 8, nature people often find themselves at the crossroad of change and transformation. And I know several nature people, this is really true. They have an inherent understanding of and respect for change, thrill, the great mystery of life, death, and rebirth. The essence and genius of nature people is their amazing ability to change and evolve themselves. Yes. They have the power to shape shift into whatever or whoever they want to become when they put their minds to it. Their psyche encompasses the passionate action and ancestral connectivity to fire people, the emotional depth and peace seeking of water people, and the caretaking and extension of unconditional love and support of earth people, and the great social skills and gift for storytelling of the mineral people. Yeah. So they're kind of like the Renaissance folks of the village, they got it all. They got it all going for them. And another important aspect about the nature people is this trickster energy that they have going on. Um, Juggling all of the elemental essence allows nature people to serve as tricksters or magicians for the other elements. The trickster in nature makes it a masterful agent of change and renewal. As a result, nature people can midwife, I love this, they can midwife people and situations to a new beginning with their coyote spirit, their Renard the fox spirit, the Eshu spirit of the Yoruba, and of course the Pele spirit of the Lakota Sioux. All of these are the trickster energy that shows up. And so they do this with spirit and humor. While challenging and persistent, they will remove whatever mask you hide behind to expose your true nature. They often use humor, jokes, and joyful tricks to challenge us to pull off our false mask and face our true reality. Yes, 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 yes. Some good old trickster energy there. So, if you are a nature person, if you were born in a year that ends with a 3 or an 8, during 2023, here's what you can look forward to. I'm going to give you this another slide that I have here. Great. It says during 2023, nature people will both be challenged and called upon to challenge pretense, falsehood, and that which is not in full alignment with the truth. Nature people who were born in a year ending with the number 3 will be especially provided with multiple and frequent opportunities to transform away from beliefs, ideologies, paradigms, environments, people, and even foods which can no longer support the truth of who they are. From a spiritual perspective, nature people are being radically shaped into the true stewards and powerful spokespersons for the natural world that the trees, plants, animals, landscapes, waterways, and humans need them to be. Yeah. So that's a pretty tall order, nature folks. Y'all on the spotlight this year. This is some big stuff for you. Absolutely. And just know that us fire people are cheering for you because after what we went through, it's like, oh my God, we're cheering for you because yeah, it's gonna be good. But again, it's so powerful and so important and so wonderful. So just know that helping people grow and change as you grow and change. Yeah. So let me jump over now to the Chinese horoscope for you and give you a little bit of information about this black water rabbit year. Kind of what's up with that? What's up with that, Jojo Pie? So the Lunar New Year, as it's called, or the Spring Festival, marks the transition of the Chinese zodiac sign from one animal to another. And 2023 sees the year of the rabbit, which begins, actually, the celebration begins on January the 22nd. And it really comes full on February the 4th. So, for example, if a child is born this year on or after the 22nd up to February 4th, they'll still be a tiger because we're coming out of a water tiger year, right? White water tiger year. But if they're born on February 4th, then they'll be a rabbit. Yeah, yeah. So that's just interesting to know. So this is really cool website that I found, and I'll put it in the comments below my I mean the description box for the YouTube. But it's a man named Brian Wang. It's all you need to know about the year of the rabbit, and he explains about the Chinese elemental wisdom using the elements that they use, which is very similar to the Dagara medicine of water, earth, fire. They use metal and wood um, in their understanding. But it's all designed in a similar way about learning how things work, learning how the universe works. So, because of how that elemental um, wisdom rolls out, this is why we have this being a water rabbit. Yeah, because the year is a three. So, anybody born in a 3 year, and I think it's also a 2 year, would be considered water. And there's also this connection to wood because the water feeds wood. And so it's really cool what it comes out to. But all of that to say that the real message in what does the rabbit year mean? Rabbits are a symbol of longevity, peace, and prosperity. And so 2023 is predicted to be a year of hope. People born in the year of the rabbit are believed to be vigilant, witty, quick minded, and ingenious. Yes, ingenious. So that's a really good, wonderful thing for us to know that the rabbit year is full of hope. Creatures. Um, they are very fertile, so this can be a very prosperous year for some people. And again, really love that it like bring evidence that this year is going to help us become more conscious of what we have achieved as a result of going through what we went through from 2020 into 2022. Yeah. So that's the hope, that's the hope piece. Yeah. Like really, really cool stuff. So I want to share with you my personal growth opportunity for you with this. The grief stuff is really important. We're not going to be able to get to our joy, our happy endings, if we don't address the grief. So, what I'm asking and suggesting that you do very simply, give yourself permission over the next 40 days. Whenever you start, just count up to 40 of acknowledging the grief that you are carrying. Yeah. And this isn't even about let me try to make myself cry or nothing like that. Because that will come naturally after you give yourself permission to acknowledge it. So, what are you grieving? Who are you grieving? Let yourself acknowledge that, become conscious of it. And that's the prayer. Lord, enable me to become conscious of my grief so that you can then easily roll into getting it expressed. And that can happen in a variety of ways. Besides tears, it could be in a poem, it could be in a song, it could be in a dance, it could be in a conversation. But we're in a time now where we can consciously take on letting that grief go. Yeah, absolutely. So now I'm going to share with you my Sarah saying for tonight. And Miss Sarah says, don't look for someone in whom to believe. Believe in yourself. The only authentic authority is your own original nature. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you for that, Mama Sarah. Definitely. And so I've come to the close of this spill tonight. And as always, I want to thank my wonderful, wonderful engineer, Miss Yvette Parker, and the entire Black Hole Radio Be Well family for taking care of my podcast. And for also hanging in there with me when I was going through the initial part of my transition where I just could not be broadcasting. And they just said, whatever you need, Judge Appa, we got you. Take it easy, do what you need to do, take as long as you need, we got you. So thank you, Yvette and family, Forrest, and all of you for continuing to be such a support so I can get my messages out to the world. I also, of course, want to thank all my regular listeners out there, and you know who you are, those of you who Wisdom Walk with me, to my family on both coasts, East Coast, West Coast, and in the middle of the country. Hey, Wisconsin. To my transformational leadership colleagues, my medicine brothers and sisters like Asu and Ina all around the world, and those who may be listening or watching for the first time. Thank you. Big thank you, because I couldn't do this without your encouragement and willingness to listen to my messages. Yes, absolutely. So, next week, I will repeat this, which you can find again, the link for the broadcast if you want to do podcasts, and definitely it'll be on YouTube. And then on the 29th, I will do the second part to this annual message, where I'll share with you some of the insights and channeling that I got in terms of how we can navigate through this year and come out on the other side stronger, better, and again, having those happy endings in life. And last but not least, I want to thank my God, my ancestors, my spirit guides, loving entities, everything that walks with me, keeps my head to the sky, my feet to the ground, and my heart open to do this important work with and for all of you. So please have a very healthy and safe. It's an Earth Week that started today. Sunday is the first day of the Elemental Week, and it's all about receiving support. I want to encourage you to not think COVID is over. It is not. We are still moving through it. So continue to wear your mask. Or if you can't do that, strengthen your immune system. Practice safe relating. Wash those hands frequently. Avoid perceived safety and embrace science safety. And most importantly, please, please, please know you are not disposable. In fact, my dears, you are divine. Good night now.